I read some research that talked about veterans and military personnel, people who serve in our armed forces, how much they dislike when we tell them, thank you for your service. It's a common action that we take, many of us, when we see somebody in uniform or find out somebody has served or is currently in the military or has been. It's a common response to say, thank you for your service. Many of us, most of us, have very pure hearts when we do that. And yet, how many of us really think, what are we really saying? It's kind of when somebody says, I'm sorry, but they don't name what they're sorry about. I'm sorry. And so, what are you sorry about? Do you know what you're sorry about, really? When somebody says, well, yeah, I love you. Well, do you know why? Like, what exactly makes you love me? What is it about me? What is it about this situation? At some point, you want some specificity around the information being shared. And so reading this article was pretty eye-opening because I realized I am very sincere. I have always had a deep heart for those people who are willing to put their life on the line, regardless of whether I agree with the military industrial complex, regardless of whether I agree with the politics. I have always had deep respect for somebody who would put themselves in the line of fire. It's essentially what Jesus did, right? It took his life to save ours. Even when I didn't believe in Jesus, I had deep respect for a human that would put their life on the line, regardless of their motivations. I know a ton of people, that went into the military because they didn't know where the hell else to go. They wanted a free education. They had to go because they were going to go to jail if they didn't. So their motivations weren't pure, but they eventually, what happens for an uber majority of people who get out of the military that I've interacted with, the research that I've read, is they have a deep respect for themselves and for what they did do, even with all the benefits they're getting, education, et cetera, afterwards, because they did put their lives on the line. They were the people who were going to have to go to war. And therefore, this article, this research about how many of them dislike the thank you for your service because it feels obligatory, it feels disingenuous. And so the idea I'm realizing is to think through a little more, what am I thanking them for? And so I'm going to make it a practice as best I can in the moment when someone was in the military to use other phrases. For example, it was recommended via the research I read, say things like, don't forget, I won't forget. You know, this idea that I'm with you. And I want to cry even just saying that. Like, we will never forget. You put your life on the line for me and others. I thank you for your selflessness. I thank you for your willingness to fight to protect me. You know, be more specific. You know, I'll never forget. Don't you ever forget, because I don't forget you. I'm proud of you. Man alive. You know how many people want to hear those words? I'm proud of you. If you haven't heard it today, if you haven't heard it recently, I'm proud of you. Think of ways to express what it is when you're speaking to somebody who has served our country. And the research said a lot of the veterans, the research came from veterans saying kind of how they felt about things. They want you to ask them their experience. So when you see a veteran and you realize, okay, they're a veteran, rather than saying thank you for your service, what you can say is, hey, look, I appreciate what you've done for this country. Do you want me to understand something about your experience? What would you like me to understand so I can be even more grateful for your service, more grateful for you and others like you? Tell me, would you like to share something with me? Would you like me to have a takeaway from your life experience? Can you imagine what that would do to a veteran when you look at them and say, I want to even have deeper gratitude for what you do because I want to understand it more from your perspective. What was your life experience so I could have a deeper appreciation? That alone, asking someone, tell me about your life experience so I can take it in more and relate to it more and honor it more. Can you imagine asking anybody that type of question in any situation about anything, right? That is essentially, ultimately what all this is about. moving aside from I'm grateful for your service, look at me, look at my heart, and saying, hey, I see you and I'm grateful for you as a human. Do you want to tell me what your human experience has been like? It's a conversation of, do I see the person in front of me? Am I aware of their humanity? And so am I approaching them with a heart that says, you tell me about you, because I feel gratitude towards you, your life experience that I don't understand. Again, for me, I don't understand the veteran experience necessarily. Deep appreciation, but I'm not a veteran. I don't know what that's like. So is there something you want to share? I ask you to consider this language because I care about you, because whoever's listening to this is kind of my heart. I get information, I read, I research, and I put it out there for you. I am a teacher at heart. I'm a learner. Clifton Strength Finders, my number one strength, my top ranked strength is learner. I gather lots of information and I share it with you. My heart is that what I share with you gets you thinking about ways to sort of improve, enhance, better your walk, your individual walk. In particular, my agenda always is that what I share with you will draw you closer to your divine, to the one and only, Yeshua HaMashiach. I do believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I do believe in that line of spiritual walking. I do believe that is the answer ultimately to everything in life. The God of Yehovah Hashem Adonai Eloheinu, Yeshua HaMashiach. Therefore, always my agenda is that things I say to you help you in wherever you are in your walk. I believe it's a walk towards finding the divine, this God that I articulate. But you've got to take the journey. It's your journey. It's your walk. And I want to meet you where you are in that journey, whether you believe in a God at all, or whether you're a little confused as to what the name of this God is, or if there is one at all. My heart's desire is to be of service to you as a spiritual coach. It's the only terms I can come up with as to what I'm doing for people and what God has called me to do. Other terms I have used is I'm a jubilarian. Heck, folks, I wrote a book called The Happiness Formula because it is God's desire that we walk in the peace and the joy and the freedom and the success and the happiness, the abundance that He has planned for us. And it's going to look wonky. It's going to look messy. But my experience has been it's very possible to experience outrageous, inexplicable, inhuman, supernatural peace, joy, freedom, happiness in every area of my life, regardless of the moments, regardless of the pain, the difficulty, the confusions. It is my heart that I extend to you to be of service to you in that capacity as a spiritual coach. And I pray these words speak to you, they move you, they encourage you. In His name, Shalom.